This morning, for the first time, we're getting a look at the alligator that was found in Claremore Lake last month. The Oklahoma Department of Wildlife Conservation shared this picture showing the nearly 10-foot-long gator. ODWC says game wardens euthanized the gator because it was a danger to the public. And that's sparked a lot of questions, specifically on social media. And joining me live on Zoom to help answer some of those questions is Micah Holmes with the Wildlife Department. Micah, thanks for being here with us this morning.
Thank you for having me.
All right, so first, let's talk a little bit about how did the Wildlife Department find out about the gator and any idea where it came from?
We heard about this alligator from where we get a lot of our information from the public. They told us there was a large alligator on Claremore Lake, and that's certainly something we hadn't heard of before and seen. We went out there, and sure enough, there was a 9.5-foot alligator there at the lake. We don't know where this alligator came from. It's way outside of its range. We do have alligators in Oklahoma, but only in far southeastern Oklahoma, down in McCurtain County, in the far southeast corner of the state. So our suspicion is that it came from somebody who released it, maybe had it as a pet. That's a very large alligator, but we do not know where it came from.
Do you know, was it released recently, did you think, or farther back?
We don't know. We know that alligators can't live that far north. That's way outside of the range. So we wouldn't expect an alligator to live through a winter in Oklahoma, in Claremore, Oklahoma. So we don't know how long it's been there, but as soon as we heard reports, we went out there and checked it out.
So there's been some backlash about the alligator being put down. Can you help folks understand why it had to be euthanized versus trapped and relocated?
Well, it was unfortunate. You know, our first inclination when we go out on calls like this to deal with a nuisance animal or those type of situations is never to euthanize the animal. That's not something we want to do. But in some situations, like this situation, it's really it's the last and only option we have in order to keep the public safe. The public safe. We want to keep the public safe, keep our officers safe, and keep the animals safe in that order. And that's kind of how we work through those decisions. So in this situation, this animal is so large, it's just not realistic to get your hands on it. A 9.5-foot animal is a large animal, could have posed risk. And we believe that it was habituated to humans. So even if we were able to trap it, it's not like we could move it to another location in its native range, because if it is habituated to humans and we release it in the wild and it comes up looking for humans for food, that situation could turn bad.
So 8 years ago, a game warden confirmed a 2-foot alligator was in Claremore Lake and said it was left there. A lot of people in Claremore are convinced that it was the same gator. Is that possible 8 years later?
No, we don't think so. Based on the fact that there's been a lot of long, cold winters in Claremore, Oklahoma over those 8 years, and we would not expect an alligator to live through the winters. And even if it were somehow miraculous to live through all those winters, to not get that large. Alligators live a long time and grow pretty slowly. So we wouldn't expect an alligator to get that big in that short of time, that way far north out of the range in a populated area. So we don't know. We can never say for sure, but we don't think that's the same alligator.
All right, well, we're about out of time here, but I do want to mention that it is illegal to have an alligator as a pet in Oklahoma, and then, of course, to release something like this in the wild, and that can be very harmful. Is that right, Micah?
Yeah, another good example of when people keep pets as wildlife or violate wildlife laws. Unfortunately, many times in the end, it's the animal who suffers.
All right, thank you again for your time, Micah. We appreciate it.
Thank you.